Your headlines at 4 p.m. Former President Jacob Zuma has labelled allegations against him in Zondo's final report as gossip and innuendos. An urgent application to interdict the ANC's Gauteng Provincial Conference has just been filed at the High Court in Gauteng. And landslide victory for Danny Jordan at the SAFA presidential race after winning by 186 votes. His main contender, Riale Dwaba, got 27 votes. Coming to you live from Auckland Park here in Johannesburg. This is SABC News. You tuned into SA Today. I'm your host, Flo Ledwaba. Thanks very much for being with us on this Saturday afternoon. Let's take a look then at our stories. The spokesperson for the Jacob Zuma Foundation, Mzwanele Manyi, has called the legitimacy of the State Capital Commission into question. Manyi says the establishment of the commission was unlawful after former Chief Justice Mogoeng Mogoeng selected then Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo to chair the commission. The commission was recommended by former Public Protector Thuli Madonsela in 2016 after the release of her state capture report. The findings of the various volumes of the Commission's report have implicated the former President Zuma in facilitating the capture of the state by the Guptas. Zondo officially handed over parts 5 and 6 of the state capture report to President Cyril Ramaphosa on Wednesday. Manyi has briefed the media on the former president's reaction to the report in Sandton.
We hold the view that given the unlawfulness of how this inquiry was set up, it cannot be that its findings and recommendations are lawful. The report is therefore a classical case of a fruit of a poison tree. Then we deal with the conduct of Justice Zondo himself during the inquiry. To say Chief Justice Zondo is unworthy of being called a judge would be a serious understatement. Chief Justice Zondo fails the most basic of the test, even of the most junior judge. No self-respecting judge worthy of that title sits in a case where he or she is directly affected and demonstrably conflicted in order to settle personal scores. Even during his recent media conference, when he was handing over the report to the equally conflicted president, who is under investigations by the Hawks and Public Protector, amongst others, he failed to show remorse when responding to journalists' questions whether, when looking back, he would do anything differently. The record will show that during the deliberations in the commission, Justice Zondo, like all other witnesses, deposed to an affidavit where he denied his subsequently well-established proximity to and relationship with President Zuma. Justice Zondo's affidavit was made in response and in rebuttal to the statement by President Zuma that they were previously friends. Justice Zondo deliberated on the two affidavits and decided to dismiss the submission of President Zuma in favor of his own affidavit. If that is not travesty of justice by the now most senior judge in South Africa, then we don't know what is the meaning of that term. Without digressing, it is worth mentioning that before the Judicial Service Commission, Justice Zondo contradicted his statement about his proximity to President Zuma. In response to a question about his political meddling, he tried to justify his reason for the visit, but instead what we remember is that he said, open quote, "I knew him it might have been more than 20 years, something, close quote. He also miraculously could not remember what they had discussed when they met more than once in KZN hotels. It didn't end there. His Excellency President Zuma, a citizen who fought for the democracy of this country, again asked Chief Justice Zondo to recuse himself so that a neutral person could receive his submission. No was the answer. The South African media and judiciary instead entrenched the false narrative that President Zuma, by insisting on an unbiased decision maker, was refusing to go to the commission. For this, he was jailed without a trial at the instigation of the so-called Zondo Commission. Why would President Zuma, a law-abiding citizen who has been willingly attending courts, including criminal courts, for almost 20 years, suddenly and for no reason refuse to attend a toothless inquiry investigation, I beg your pardon, and for no reason refuse to attend a toothless inquiry investigating a phantom thing called state capture? In a further act of bullying and abuse of power, Justice Zondo, who also at the time was Deputy Chief Justice, complained to his subordinates at the Constitutional Court, who also failed to direct him to the rules of his own commission, which should have told him to complain to the police or approach the lower court.